We are waiting for our guest to show up. WesS should be with us here in a minute. Damn fire went out. Son of a bitch. I've sent him the invite link. I think he's going to just be able to come in as soon as he gets here. So that is why we are on portrait instead of landscape. When you're doing a joint live stream, you got to do portrait. I don't make the rules. I do my best to not follow them when I can. But occasionally I fail. Oh, look, there's where I can add a person. Huh. Maybe I could have done. Okay. So anyway, once Wes gets here, we're going to be talking with Wes about the Donroe doctrine and whether it's really America first. And what the possible pitfalls that our pitiful intellects can foresee, because all right, Landon's back, Buck 99's back. This handle isn't available, or is it? Says hi. Hello, sir. Cool name. I don't know where Wes is. I tried to call him and he didn't answer. I sent him the link. I emailed him the link and I texted him the link. So if he doesn't show up, it's on him. But I'm hoping he'll get here because Wes is always interesting. Okay, so while we're waiting on Wes, we'll talk about this for a minute. Well, so yeah, if we let the usual idiots back in on this thing, the usual globalists, the usual neocons. Oh yeah, okay. I'm starting my fire because it's getting below 50 right now, and I'm cold. And Patrick's up here saying, yeah, Canada's cold too. All right, it's not cold here, Patrick. I know. I'm not saying it's Canada cold, but it's Georgia cold, brother. Okay, see if I can get this fire going. I don't really need a fire, but I like it. I got my little bougie wood stove here. It's actually not bougie. It's an old parlor stove. That's not going to go. I'm going to be messing with that all night long. But it makes it nice and toasty in here. I've got my my screened-in porch all insulated, and I can usually get it warm enough here that it's comfortable. Anyway, okay. So if we let the normal idiots, the normal, rogues gallery of globalists and freaking, neocons and damn rhinos and all those useless idiots in on this thing, they're going to screw it up. Because they'll make it take so long that Trump will be gone, and then they'll get in there and they'll they'll be corrupt. They'll because that's what all those idiots are in there for. They go into these countries, they destabilize them, they make massive amounts of money, and they keep it running for as long as possible, and the populace be damned. It's done it to Haiti for decades, 100 years or more. The Clintons, I was in Haiti under the Clintons, and that's exactly how it was. You know what? Let me tell you a story. Let me contrast this particular presidential smash and grab, to the presidential smash and grab I was a part of underneath the Clintons. True story. I shouldn't have to say that. Obviously, when you say it's a true story, you have to say it because you think there's a chance someone might not believe you. But this has absolutely happened, and it happened just like this. So it's 1997 or 1998. I don't remember the exact year. Hey, Jake Buck. And little Corporal Revolting is on the Marine Expeditionary Unit. I can never remember if we were the 24th MEU or the 26th MEU. I always thought we were the 26th, but I think we were the 24th. It doesn't matter. And so we're floating around in the Mediterranean, uh, and one of our missions, the Marine Expeditionary Units are always forward deployed in case something weird happens. And of course, something weird was always happening under the Clintons, right? So one of our missions was to go into Bosnia and do a show of force. Uh, cool trip. Lots of. Oh, that link didn't work. Let me try another one, Wes. Copy link. All right, everyone. I'm getting in the chat. All right, no one goes anywhere. I got to send this link to Wes. Wes, I'm going to have to text it to you though, brother. Okay, I'm back. So Wes, I texted it to you. Hopefully, I've got your right number, unless you didn't, uh, unless you changed your number and didn't tell me, you rat bastard. Damn, you find out who your real friends are, right? Anyway, so we're in Bosnia doing this show of force, part of something called the I-4, which I can't remember what it stood for. Now, this is a NATO mission, uh, and here's how serious it was. I was a tow gunner, which is an anti-tank missile that back then used to get, son of a bitch, it used to get fired off the top of a Humvee. Anyway, the tow missile was this big, ponderous thing, and you didn't usually get live missiles, and we had live missiles on this mission. Uh, so it was a big deal. Like if they're passing out live, I'm trying to get the fire started, Patrick. I can't do two things at once. I'm terrible at it. Uh, if they're passing out live tow missiles, you know that they're expecting things to get real. And we had live missiles on the truck. We didn't have a full complement, but we had several. And so we're in Sarajevo, and they tell us that we're going to punch 2 hours north and go into this area where Allied troops had not been since World War One, and that we were going to go to this compound, and we were going to uh, kick in the door, and we were going to snag Slobodan Milosevic. I'm 90% sure it was him and his top general. They were holed up in this compound, and we were going to go catch him and take him to the Hague. This was the real deal mission. I mean, we had the mission prep, the sand tables, the whole 9 yards. Live ammunition, like I said, live missiles. Like this thing looked like it was for real. And so we load up early in the morning and we start heading north out of Sarajevo. Really, really, really cool. Dead of winter, deepest snow I've ever seen in my life. And my fire's almost out. I'm not going to be able to do this. And we have pictures of these guys, and it's you're going to the compound, you're assaulting the compound, and you're snatching Slobodan Milosevic. Now, looking back on it now, I realize that it wasn't. I should have known that it wasn't real because the plan wasn't fully formed. Like they didn't tell me exactly where I was going because we were one of the lead elements, and I was like a driver in this lead element with this. Anyway, I don't want to go. Anyway, I should have had an exact place where I was going to go and perform a screening mission. That's what we did a lot of the times back then. They would punch us out way forward, and we would go to like intersections and important choke points and stuff, and we would set up screens. So if the main column was getting attacked, they would hit us first. Uh, and I didn't have a screening mission. I didn't have any locations, so I should have known that this was all fake. But they had us all spun up about it. So we get mounted up. They give us our pictures, and all this is to compare and contrast a Clinton regime change raid against the Trump regime change raid. All right, we're comparing what I experienced to what just happened last night, and so we're headed north. Big long convoy. A lot of freaking Marines. It was the entire MEU, except for the air element, and I don't think we had the artillery stuff. I think the artillery batteries. Yeah, so it wasn't the entire MEU. We were missing the artillery battery, and we were missing the Amtracs, uh, and everyone, and so all those were on two different ships that weren't with us anyway. But it was most of the MEU. It was most of the infantry element of the MEU, and we take off north, man. We're booking it. We got our. It was awesome. It was really really cool. And we get about 30 minutes up the road, and we get a call down from the radio and say, "Hey guys, when you get to the compound, wait a minute. Don't assault right away." Okay, we're still an hour and 40 minutes out. We get like another 20 minutes up the road. We get another radio call. "Hey guys, when you get to the compound, uh, ring it. Just encircle it. Don't do anything. Just encircle it and wait for further instructions." Okay. We're getting really 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 close to the. Uh, I must have screwed something up for poor Wes. I don't know. Wes, do I not have your real phone number anymore? We're getting really really close to the compound, and we get another call down on the radio. "Hey, don't go to the compound." Oh no, I'm sorry. There's another step. We get a call that says, "Hey, just drive past the compound, and if you see Slobodan Milosevic, I guess watering his grass or something, I don't know, uh, grab him, but don't do anything crazy. Just if you see him, grab him." Okay. And then we actually get to the area where this compound is supposed to be. I never actually even see. Sorry, Wes. I guess we got to. I don't know. Uh, they say don't go to the compound. Go to this area, and so we go to that area, and then they actually did at that point give me a location. Punched me out, and oh wait, no, there's Wes. All right, if I hit the right button, we got a Wes.
I
Look at
got it.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Look how pretty he is.
Yeah, you need some glasses there, buddy.
Wes, I haven't seen you in for so long. We haven't talked. You don't write. You don't call.
I lost your contact, man. I don't know what happened to it. I got most of the people that I had that I've met through YouTube and stuff. I don't have their contacts anymore. All of them are gone off my phone.
You rage quit us. You ghosted us.
I guess so.
You dropped us like a bad grinder date.
I've still got Sasquatch, Chip, Rob, Privateer Prepper. I've got Guns Coast to Coast. I've got I got the bearded woodsman and Jeremy, but they don't have cell phones. It's weird.
That is a little bit weird. Good for them though.
Yeah.
So did you see that live stream I did with Rob?
I watched most of it. Yeah, not all of it.
You think you can top it?
I don't know. Y'all were on there for a little while drinking, so I don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't know if you can be more interesting than Rob was, Wes. I think
the reason I would invite Rob to my channel to be on my live streams is because Rob is more interesting than me.
Yeah, he was more interesting than me too.
Rob is one of the most well-versed human beings I've ever had the privilege of making an acquaintance with. He has debated a lot with a lot of people and did a lot of reading. So,
oh yeah.
And he still has all of his retention. So
He had his granddaughter there with him, but he kept trying to tell me it was his wife.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he went shopping at the elementary school. But
you, think, you think he might have been a custodian or something, and
yeah,
he picked his own out at the factory.
yeah. The well, that's. I don't know if you've ever heard this story. The first time I ever saw my wife, I was standing in my apartment door, drinking a almost cold beer. Watching this goofy little, 10, 11-year-old girl walking down the street, thinking, "Man, them's ugly pants." And um, I don't know, 10 years later, 10, 12 years later, whatever, we were throwing rocks at each other. So here we are.
So to say. All right. So I was telling the story, waiting for you to get here to try to contrast how Trump does regime change versus how the Clintons did regime change. But
Okay.
I'm just gonna wrap it up real quick, and we're gonna get to the interview portion of our episode here. Uh, to wrap that whole thing up, the next thing they tell us is they punched my whole element, my platoon. It wasn't just me, but it was my platoon. Well, I mean, I was a squad leader in the platoon. They punched the whole platoon way out north. We went like an hour north and set up at this river crossing. And a bunch of helicopters came in, hit the LZ where we had just been. And when the helicopters landed, the doors drop and all these guys unasked the helicopters, hut, 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 the whole thing. And it was a bunch of dentists, and they gave free dental care to all the. We had been told we were going to go snatch Slobo Milosevic and his. And when we got there, instead they just flew in a bunch of hey, Cattywampus is with us. They flew in a bunch of dentists and gave out free dental care to the people we were allegedly going to raid. And that's how the Clintons do regime change. Now, let's contrast that to what just happened last night, where Delta Force goes in with an entire air wing element. There's 150 aircraft in the air, they say, uh, and we invade an entire country, snatch a sitting president, and we don't even lose an aircraft. We don't get one single uh, casualty. Now, forget someone getting killed. We don't have anyone even wounded, as far as I've heard so far.
They
That
shot.
is
They got a couple of bullets into one helicopter.
that's what I heard. That they didn't even have to land the helicopter. That the helicopter,
Remained flyable.
yeah, remained flyable. Yeah, that was a weird phrasing, but fine, whatever. Uh, so my point being, and yeah, it was really weird, Ten Tigers. My point being, and we'll get WesS's take on this, is that this Venezuela thing is likely to work. The Venezuelan people are by and large good people. It's a wealthy country. When I was there 20 or 30 years ago now, it was a well managed, well regulated country that I felt very comfortable moving around in, and we weren't in the capital. We were way out in the hinterlands. So so this is likely to work. But do you think it emboldens? And this is the jumping off point for US. Do you think it emboldens the usual cast of useless idiots, the globalists, the neocons, the rhinos, the corrupt asshole idiots that want to try and leverage American power to enrich themselves? Do you think this emboldens them to try again later on when Trump's not here and get us into another one of these 20-year boondoggles like we just got out of in Iraq and Afghanistan? Is this likely to be success going to cause us future failures?
Honestly, a lot of that depends on who the next president is. Uh, the And I want to know, where has Vance disappeared to?
Vance has disappeared.
That bothers me some, but I think he's still working, but he's fucking gone, man.
Yeah. I think my guess is that Vance lost an internal power struggle. Vance is an extreme isolationist. And I mean, clearly we're not doing extreme isolationism. You know, when you put in the intervention in Israel, Iran, now this in Venezuela, clearly we're not going uber isolationist, and that makes me think Vance has been sidelined because that was his thing. You know.
See, I'm hoping because he was my next guy.
Yeah.
I was because I'm not an extreme isolationist, but if a Canadian's going to eat, or if I'm going to eat 2 meals, screw the Canadian. That's how I
We
don't care
have
about.
Canadians in the chat now, Wes.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure there's French people in here. I feel the same way about them. America first, always.
Yeah.
Our allies, as long as they're true allies and not just dependents, hey, with helping them out. But and if they want to rock on with us, but I'm pretty close to an extreme isolationist myself. You know, I'm all for uh, Florida getting quite a bit bigger, and all the current residents going to Moscow or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to adopt them all because uh, they've been communists for so long. They're going to stay communist. Cuba's not going to change.
Yeah.
So, they think they want to change, but they just want a different version of what they've already got.
Yeah. Yeah. They want what they got, but also what we've
We have,
got.
and
And they
that
don't
doesn't
understand
work.
those two things are incompatible.
They, but anyway, uh, do I think that if we wind up with if the left takes power again, or the center left, even, or the center right, um, do I think that they'll try to screw the deal up in Venezuela? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if I read what Donald Trump and his guys said correctly, it was only 58 minutes. There was a lot of stuff you had to read between the lines on, but if I got it right, within 12 months, there's going to be a Venezuelan government. And it will be based a whole lot like ours is. They're going to have a constitution. They're going to have laws on the books that say you can't just steal from foreign investors and say, yeah, we know you spent billions of dollars getting our oil out of the ground, but now we're going to take all of your pipe, all of your holes, all of your pumps, all of your uh, grid, everything. We're just going to take all that and it's going to be ours. That's not going to be okay ever again.
So for the first time in my adult life, why are you on the sex offender registry? Which one of us?
Yeah, which one of us?
Why are you on the sex offender registry, Wes?
Well, there's a guy by my whole name over there that makes it almost impossible for me to buy a freaking gun, but he's older than I am.
So I do believe this is an America First move, and here's why: because the tiny little bit of oil that Venezuela was selling, they were selling direct to the Chinese and and I guess just to the Chinese. And there was actually a China. Did you see this part that the Chinese President Xi had sent a delegation over to Venezuela Friday, that day that there had been this big meeting between Maduro's top guy and this top Chinese guy. And the Chinese delegation was still in Caracas when Delta Force went in and snatched Maduro. Because one of the things that was going on is that that oil tankers, because there's these big embargoes on Venezuela. They're not supposed to be able to sell their oil, and they've been sneaking oil off in these so-called, shipping it straight to China. And Trump has just recently started snagging those things, and I think he got 2 of them. He just did it this last week.
Yeah,
snagged two different oil tankers. And so China sends a delegation in there Friday. That's what they're talking about. They were there trying to do something with all that. And Trump's like, nah, and goes and snags Maduro. So in my opinion, this is absolutely an America First move. He did it to kick China out of Venezuela and out of this hemisphere, and the Donroe doctrine. That's why he called it the Donroe. Hey, Les, it's good to see you, brother. Called it the Donroe doctrine. Did you see that part?
yeah.
I thought that was one of the funniest things he's ever said. I mean, the man has said some funny things, and you know what? It looked like it was off the cuff.
Yeah.
So I think this is an America First move. The problem is that today's solutions are always tomorrow's problems. And I am pretty confident that Trump is going to pull this off and it's going to be successful. And then whoever the next idiot is who gets into power is going to screw it all up. And maybe not Venezuela, but he'll say, "Oh, Trump was able to do it in Venezuela, so I'll be able to do it in Eritrea."
Oh, yeah, something like that. See, if somebody tries that, they better do it the way Trump didn't go draw on a napkin and hand it to the general and say, "This is what I want you to do." Trump said, "This is what I want to have happen. What do you need to do?"
Yeah.
And he let them do it. And they said, "Well, for starters, nobody talks about it, and we just do it." And that was number one. Nobody knew about it but them. Then they went out and did it. I knew something was going on. For the past, I don't know how long, B1, the B1s are stationed
Iran.
86 miles over there.
Oh, really?
If they hit the sky, I know they hit the sky. And whenever they start rattling your windows, somebody's fixing to catch on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those B1s are impressive.
Yeah. They've even been flying, what do they call him, Silver Boy or whatever. They pulled one out of mothballs, and he's shiny. You can see him from anywhere.
Really?
Flying up there and around up there.
What is Silver Boy? I'm not familiar with that.
He's a B-1 bomber with no green paint.
Oh.
They literally pulled him out of mothballs and put him back in service. He's a big shiny bastard. He flies around all the time. And I may have the name wrong, but we see him all the time. And if you're looking at him and when he's making a turn,
mm-hmm.
It's just like somebody shined the search mirror right in your eyes, man. You can't miss. It's not like the commercial airlines, which are all could really use a bath. I mean, this guy, all it.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I am cautiously optimistic about this. Look up the SR90. I want to find out which one of us was on the sex offender.
That's probably that was telling us that Trump's gay. I don't know.
One insane one. Why are you on the sex offender registry? I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken too, insane one. I did not know that about myself. Maybe it was supposed
to be, why aren't we? Because I said my wife was a little girl first time I seen her. But I
Oh,
didn't
oh,
start
oh,
dating her
oh,
until
oh,
I was
oh, oh,
18. I mean, the first time I laid on her again, she was fresh out of boot camp. She could break me in half with 2 fingers.
I see. That it was
I
a
guess that's
response
what,
to
I
your
don't
funny
know.
joke about knowing your wife when she was 10.
Yeah, I didn't
Uh,
know who she was. She was on her way to her mom's work. Her mom worked at Allsup. She was going over there to steal some crackers or something. I don't know what she was doing.
animal crackers at that.
Probably. But
Okay. So you brought up Vance. So I don't trust Vance. And I'm saying that as a Marine who just loves everything Marine Corps. I have two problems with JD Vance. The first one is that it insults me uh, that a Marine could get elected to a nationwide office. I feel like that we should be too extreme, that people should look at us and be scared of us and think that we shouldn't have that much influence. And it bothers me that people trust him enough to let him be vice president. Uh, that sounds silly, and it is silly. I'm a silly man. I don't claim not to be a silly man, but I think any Marine should have enough of a hard edge that most people are going to be like, nah, I don't want him having the codes.
the problem with that is there's a lot of there's every year they put more and more vets into the world.
Yeah,
I mean, they're why and see 20, 30 years ago, yeah, there wasn't that many people wanting to elect some guy that had been over there shooting goat herders or whatever, but
yeah.
that's not the case anymore. It's um and he only did like 4 years, didn't he?
Yeah. He's just a bog standard Marine. There's not, he had good honorable service, but he wasn't like recon or anything.
And
Uh,
he was never deployed or anything, right?
I think he was deployed. I think I'm pulling this from memory. I'm not saying he's claimed this. This is what I think I'm pulling from memory. But I think what I remember is that he did get a deployment. I think he was a commo nerd. I think he was some kind of communications guy. And so I think he did go to. I think it was Iraq, and I think he was stayed in the green zone. Uh, we got Corporal Punishment saying he was a combat correspondent, which is the Marine Corps' version of a newspaper reporter.
So he was, yeah. That's I'm not a vet, so I can say all y'all can hate me. That's not exactly your normal Marine.
Well, so yeah, if you want to think about
What didn't he need crayons, man?
Heavy Metal Jacket, you've seen. I mean, everyone's seen
Yeah,
Heavy Metal Jacket, right? So, uh, Private Joker in that was a combat correspondent. That was his MOS.
yeah,
So it's a real MOS. You go to boot camp. It's not like being a chaplain or a JAG officer where you don't go to all
yeah.
the same training as everything. He went to boot camp. He went to SOI. He was at the fleet.
We
He,
actually had a minister at one of our churches. He pastored for about a year and a half, and he left the church to go back into the military to be a chaplain in the military.
hmm.
At he only had a year left before he was too old,
Hmm.
and he's still in there. He's still wearing the uniform, still doing it. That was 18 years ago. He's got to be getting out pretty quick because I mean he's gonna, I think he got ranked now though.
I have one other problem with JD Vance, and if there's any Catholics in the chat, hear me out. I don't necessarily have a problem that he is a Catholic, even though I have a lot of problems with what I would call Romanism or Roman Catholicism. My problem is that he got so late in life without having figured out that he was a Roman Catholic. he's in his 40s, late 40s, I think, and a major religious change like that when you're already a major public. That tells me that he's still uh he's still not settled in his beliefs and his uh Patrick is saying Full Metal Jacket. I thought that's what I said. Did I not say Full Metal
Right, you
Jacket?
said, what the hell did you say? I knew what you were talking about, but yeah, it's Full Metal Jacket. You said
Oh, I
heavy.
bet I said Heavy Metal Jacket or something.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
which
Sorry, Patrick. Full
I
Metal
would really
Jacket.
like to watch that movie now. Like Full Metal
Vulgar.
Jacket, the heavy metal version. You know,
Yeah. Heavy. There is actually a movie called Heavy Metal. It's an animated movie from the late
yeah, but
70s.
that's why I'm just, like the kind of a Full Metal Jacket, but with that girl that was the uh, Navy SEAL or whatever.
It's G.I. Jane.
Yeah,
Hey, vulgar display of truth. I'm sorry that the feed isn't good. I apologize. Y'all try to listen to Wes and screen me out. I hope you mean that it's just my the feed and not the actual content.
he's probably
Okay.
great for lighting. Your lighting's a little low. Mine's too bright. Where the heck is that? But I could fix it like this.
Yeah,
There.
Les says I'm breaking up too.
Oh, I can hear you fine. I guess because we're stuck together or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry.
JD Vance disappeared though, and
Absolutely disappeared.
I thought he was a shoe in to run behind Trump, and maybe they're just trying to keep him out of the spotlight. I don't know.
I don't know. It was significant to me that he was not on that stage with Rubio and Hegseth and the general.
Yeah,
Uh, uh, that that was very telling to me too. I noticed it at the time. I was like, "Where's JD Vance? Why isn't he on this stage?"
now I can't
Uh,
think of the one senator. He's a vet too. He's got a YouTube channel. He does his senator thing, and then he does his YouTube thing. And I've listened more to his YouTube stuff than anything else. Um, he does a bunch of shorts and stuff. He's funny as hell. Um,
oh, Kennedy from Louisiana. Is it not Senator Kennedy? I know he's hysterical. You listen to Senator Kennedy, and he's almost as good as Trump. You just have
oh yeah, no, not that guy. This guy's he's probably your age. Uh, got a short beard. Looks like he got used to wearing it in the Navy. I don't know, man.
to. Les is saying Nick Fratis. Does that sound
Yeah,
familiar?
it's something or other.
Yeah. For a minute, I thought you were talking about Ted Cruz, but surely you know your own senator.
No, man, I'm not so. Yeah, the West Virginia guy. That I would vote for him for president, and I don't even know why. Just because I don't know. He seems straight up. I don't know how to explain it, but um, and I mean, we've already. I mean, I don't want to go to having another non-funny president.
Yeah, it'd be hard to go back, wouldn't it?
I mean, Reagan was funny. The Bushes were
Reagan
sort of funny.
Reagan was funny.
Uh, Clinton was not funny. Obama
No,
was funny.
but Clinton was personable.
Clinton was personable. I mean, they could get anybody to take dictation anytime you wanted.
Yeah, he had a
Uh,
private plane waiting to fly him to Lolita Island, or Pedophile Island.
I hate that man. If a meteorite hit his house or a meteor hit his house and took out him and everybody near and dear to him, I would not cry.
Yeah, they're evil people. The Clintons are just evil people. I knew a Marine who guarded the White House when they were I was in during the Clintons, and one of the guys who came down uh, had been Yankee White. He'd been one of the Marine guards at the White House, and he said that Chelsea would call him a baby killer when she walked past him. He'd be like holding the door open for her, and she'd say "baby killer" as she walked past.
Yeah.
Which is just ludicrous because we weren't even in any real wars at that period point. You know, we hadn't been in a real war since the first Gulf War. This would have been like '99. This would have been right before the towers came down. Uh, and she's calling
Everybody
him a
is
baby killer.
fixing to go to prison for real estate fraud and some other kind of embezzlement and shit.
Yeah, that was Whitewater,
And
the Whitewater real estate development that Hillary was all uh, neck deep in, and I
they
think
say he's
I,
getting a BJ in the White House, and everybody forgets all about it.
yeah,
And everybody they were involved with went to prison, but not
or
them.
committed suicide.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
Ambrose Evans Pritchard wrote a book about them, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was damning.
I'm not suicidal.
Yeah, I'm not suicidal. I, I feel great.
Um,
I feel
I feel
fantastic. I'm happy.
happy.
I want to go for a walk.
That's yeah.
No, you're not. You'll be dead any minute.
That's yeah. I remember when I was doing live streams all the time. I'd always every time they come up, I always say, "And I am not suicidal." It's because it was. I mean, it was bad. It's like everybody in their inner outer, anybody around their orbit, I mean, could just get hit by a bus. It's that easy, or you know, find out
Yeah,
they weren't. Or,
yeah. They would find people connected to them, uh, with their hands tied behind their back, thrown on a railroad track, and get ruled a suicide.
yeah,
Uh, I think they found like one of their associates in a boat in the middle of a pond with his head severed off, and like the head was floating in the water, and they ruled it a suicide. I might be mixing some of those details up, but I mean there was some stuff like that going on around
yeah.
them. Uh,
But here's a little bit. Them closing the J. Edgar Hoover building or whatever it is, and moving the people, and then taking what is it, 1,500 or so people, and they're going to be somewhere else now.
hmm.
Uh, and that guy's been trying really hard to clean up the FBI.
Oh yeah,
They said, no, we're not going to wait till 2035 to get out of this building. We're getting out of this building now, which probably had more microphones in it than anybody knew about.
yeah,
And we're going to go to this building, which doesn't have them. And a select few are going to be relocated all over the country. They're probably getting some really good places. Like, I don't know, some of them will probably get stuck in Abilene or Lubbock or someplace in Kansas or, oh, yeah, Alaska. Um,
in the country right now that they are pushing some of these bureaucrats and especially some of the federal law enforcement stuff out of Washington D.C.
yeah.
I think this is huge.
Uh,
And
there's a lot more to it than trying to save some money on a building. And uh, I don't know what, but um, and they're actually putting them in a building where there's a couple of things that might have some oversight over their budget, I think.
yeah,
Uh, so
look, the FBI did a coup. I mean, they just pulled they attempted a coup on Trump in 2016. It was a straight up coup. There's no other way to describe it. Our, I mean, the FBI should be abolished. Like just straight up, the FBI should be abolished. There's no really reforming it at this point. So, this getting some of them away from the seat of power is at least a step, a tiny little like head nod in the right direction. But it's not good enough. But it's at least something. In our lifetimes, no one has ever once shrunk the federal bureaucracy or done anything to weaken its power. And
And
Trump has done both.
I know I've said this a million times, but I'm gonna say it again. The ATF has there's no legal bounds for the ATF to exist.
Nope.
The ATF is an illegal organization. It needs to be disbanded tomorrow. Everything they have on the books needs to be erased,
Yep.
done away with.
Yep. Alcohol and tobacco are states' issues. They need to be handled with inside the states. And firearms is nobody's issue but
Nobody's
ours.
business. Uh,
Nobody's.
no way, shape, or form can owning a firearm be a criminal act. None. Even if you committed a felony, as long as you did your 20 years and you got released,
Mm-hmm.
not wrong. Now,
Look,
let's say
you,
you're using guns to do bad things, and they have, while you're in jail, they go ahead and they do the court thing, and they remove your right to own a firearm because you've proved yourself not good. But that's even more slippery slope, because what if they say, well, you use that to try to run the mayor out of town? So,
mhm.
well, yeah, he was a corrupt mayor. He was like, I don't know, that guy from Minnesota, that Georgia governor dude.
Yeah, Walls. Yeah, my thing is now. My other thing is we should execute a lot more people than we do too. You
Yes.
know, our penal code should be a lot harsher than it is. It should be a lot less incarceration and a lot more you're just dead. But if we can't trust you with a gun, we can't trust you with a car. If we can't trust you with a gun, we can't. There's all sorts of things that can
Yeah.
cause way more damage than especially like a handgun.
Well, that
Uh,
guy who's the little boy went missing and they found his body or whatever, but he's in jail now because he already had a warrant for making some kind of bomb or something, and they found him with more explosives when they were looking for the boy or whatever. That's down there in your neck of the woods, man.
I hadn't heard about this.
Really, it's all over the news here.
I hadn't heard it. No, I'll have to look that up.
Some little 4-year-old boy walked off in the bushes. They found him dead, and his dog right beside him. So
Mm.
I'm pretty sure if the man had got his butt out of his crack and walked outside and listened for the dog barking,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't but about a mile away. He'd have been able to find his boy, who just walked off in the woods with his dog and couldn't figure out which way to get back.
Yeah, that's
That's
sad.
Yeah, it's really sad.
But yeah, if we can't trust someone with a gun, we can't trust them to be out of jail because you can make black powder at home. You can absolutely make explosives in your house, and it's not even difficult.
I now have I learned the other day how to make my own saltpeter.
Oh, really? How
It's
do you do it?
you will not believe this.
You
You
got to
collect
pee in a bucket, right?
you
Keep urine
no,
or
you
something.
collect your chicken manure. You
Oh,
let it set for about 3 months.
mm-hmm.
Then you put water in it, you boil it, and then you strain the water off, and then you let it evaporate. The crystals in the bottom is saltpeter.
How about that?
Yep, it's
And then
like super easy.
and then you just mix that with charcoal, right?
Charcoal and a little bit of sulfur. You don't have to have the sulfur. The only reason for the sulfur in black powder is to make it burn better in wet conditions. It will work without the sulfur.
Huh? I didn't know that.
If you decide to make black powder, the charcoal needs to be out of something like redwood or cedar or something like that, rather than
Really?
oak or mesquite. Softer woods make a faster burning black powder.
That actually makes sense to me.
That's what I hear anyway.
Because they burn faster as firewood.
Yes. Now you can make carbon to do it with out of cotton, but that's scary because if you get the mix wrong, it goes from black powder to explosive powder.
Yes. Gun cotton is the foundation for modern explosives.
Just saying, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point, you got to decide that there are some experts you should trust. Not many, but there's some.
Uh,
explosives would be in that category.
um,
Anyway, but I am cautiously optimistic for the near term future of the country. I'll be honest with you. I
yeah, that we're going to get better. Now, what I want them to do, but see, I don't know. I'm not an economist. I don't know what this would do if they actually went down there and got all of the cartel guys and took all their cash away, their American $100 bills,
Mhm.
and put them back into circulation. Would that crater our dollar or strengthen our dollar?
It would have the economic theory would say that would have an inflationary effect. Uh, because you're injecting dollars into the system, and when there's more dollars uh, in circulation, anytime there's more of something, it's not worth as much as if there was less of something. It's
Yeah,
like
but
gold.
the thing is, most of the dollars that they're printing now is because they can't find any dollars to put into circulation. But
Yeah.
these people collectively are sitting on trillions of dollars of currency, physical currency, that if we had it, I don't think we'd need to print any money for a while.
So yeah, if the confiscated money displaced printed money, then that wouldn't be
That
inflationary.
would be inflationary, you know.
However, if the confiscated money was just in addition to money they're printing anyway, then it would be inflationary. If I understand the economics correctly,
But
because then
the bank
inflation
don't
is
want
the
to and loan, like, they get $10,000 of reinserted money, they would still want to loan it out 10 times.
yeah.
So
Inflation is any increase in the money supply.
yeah,
Inflation actually isn't technically price increases. Price increases are a symptom or a result of inflation, but the technical definition of inflation is an increase in the money supply. Uh,
I don't know, but I know they need to quit printing money, man.
yeah,
Uh,
because how many Somalian daycare centers do you really need?
you really need. Have you seen that they've actually found some? They found some in the Pacific Northwest doing the same thing.
Of course.
Uh, I'm not sure about where else, but whenever the ones in the Pacific Northwest showed up, same place, they found them on YouTube. They cut the funding to every uh, daycare center in the United States,
Yeah.
uh, including the one my grandson was going to, and now he'll be staying with us for a while.
But see, and that's the problem, you know, and you have to do that, unfortunately, because you got to figure out, who's real and not, and you can't just say, oh well, we're
We'll go
hopeless.
try to find all the bad ones. While you're doing that, the bad ones are going to be having break-ins and fires and uh,
Yeah,
stuff, finding kids.
yeah, yeah. Did you see the one that said they lost all their important documents
Yeah,
in
and
a
the guy
burglary?
uh, the thing saying we lost all our documents. There was a break-in. His glasses cost over $2,000. Eyewear. This is a daycare worker. And he's got $2,000 rims on. Man, give me a break.
And there is an epidemic of burglars stealing documents because
Yeah.
they're so valuable on the open market.
Those staples, man, that's scrap metal, man. And then they got
Okay, that part's actually probably likely if you know scrappers at all, especially the chemically enhanced scrappers. They actually probably would steal staples for
they probably
scrap.
just told some tweaker down the alley, man, we got a whole bunch of pennies in that drawer in there.
I was one of the last because I like to play with scrap. It's a hobby. In one of the last loads I hauled off, my father-in-law has a little 1-ton dump truck, and so he went with me to haul off to take this load off in his dump truck. And so we're there and we're dumping, and the guys next to us just clearly just out of their minds. I mean, these guys are just that's obviously a father and son, and they're clearly high as a kite, and they're throwing out like all this brass, and they're just throwing this brass and this stainless steel out as regular shredder steel. Uh, and they call me over, and I'm like, oh god. So I go over and talk to them, and they said, hey, is that your dump truck? And I'm like, well, it's my father-in-law's dump truck, but yeah, I get to use it. And they said, hey, do you need a dump truck? I was like, well, no, like we just said, that's the family dump truck over there. No, but do you need a dump truck? I got a dump truck. And it was 30 minutes with this, me trying to tell this guy, no, I have a dump truck, and him trying to sell me his dump truck while he unloaded his dump truck by hand. They were so high they weren't even dumping the load with the dump truck they were driving that I think they were trying to sell me because I think they were hoping to leave the scrapyard with the what I probably should have bought the dump truck because I bet the next thing they did was just park the dump truck and leave it for scrap too. Uh,
Probably.
I probably could have gotten a good deal on a dump truck.
Probably.
these boys clearly wanted some meth.
That's really messed up. Man, I need to go. I got that my alpaca barn over there. Man, there's so much scrap over there. I
Yeah.
started some of it out, but much to my dismay, when I went back to get it, it was gone. So I'm gonna have to haul it as I mine it. You can't leave nothing laying around. Um,
Yeah.
Rebar goes as short steel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You fold it up real easy. You fold it up into 3-foot deals, and it doesn't take long to get a couple thousand pounds of
Yeah.
rebar because that concrete you pick up I got a 10-pound sledge, just hold it and drop it, and the
Mm-hmm.
concrete falls apart, and then you take the rebar out of it.
That's a lot of work for 7 cents a pound, though.
Well, yeah, but if you can get 2,000 pounds a day, that's
Yeah.
fair wages. I
Yeah.
got to bust up the concrete to get it in the hole anyway.
Have you
So
seen what copper is going for right now?
right at $4 a pound.
No. Well, yeah, I think they're paying $4 a pound, but if you look at this at the spot price of copper, it's
No,
close to $6 a pound.
wow.
Yeah, I haven't checked since Friday. I track it every day, but Friday I think it was $5.60 a pound.
Well, there's two things that go in bombs. That's copper and silver. So
And you saw what's been happening to silver.
yeah,
Holy shit, the silver price has been insane lately.
brass up there too. And bullet casings are never as high as the other brass.
Right?
Bullet casings are the same price as the best brass now.
Really?
So
Wow.
saying things are starting to be a little sketchy.
That's
And
crazy.
I mean, that was yesterday. I checked it and I was like, brass casing, what?
I need to go to the shooting range and every time I go to the shooting range, I'll take some 5-gallon buckets and I'll just fill up a few 5-gallon buckets with shell casings and take them in. Uh, I need to go up there and see because it's just been hunting season. There's probably brass everywhere.
Yeah. I need to go out here and I need a brass magnet. They need to invent one of those.
They
The
they
guy
do.
that
They're called kids.
talked before literally just stood in the backyard shooting. There are empty 5.56 casings everywhere.
Mm.
I have dug up. Well, I've walking through the yard. I'll see one. I'll bend down, pick it up. I've picked up no less than 10 live rounds.
Wow.
They just they had a whole reloading set up in the barn. The roof blew off of it, and they just left it sitting right there where the tin was gone.
Mm.
All the dies are rusted. All the presses are rusted. Everything. All the powder was trash.
Mm.
Just let it go to hell. They didn't ever save their brass to reload it anyway, so I guess it didn't matter.
Hey, well, I know this. I don't want to break OPSEC, but Rob told me that you actually live real close to where my people come from.
Where do your people come from?
Well, that's the sad. I don't want to break OPSEC. I don't know
Oh,
if you want to be putting out there, your general geographical
my
area.
geographic location is, yeah, I don't think anybody really knows. I live close to Colorado City. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so my people come not far from San Angelo, Texas, a little town called uh, Sanko.
Thanko.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
That sounds about where we probably came from. Then that sounds right. It sounds like you live close by.
I've gone through Sanko a couple times. It's I don't know, with oil and stuff, it may have gotten turned around some. I don't know.
I've never been there. My grandfather left after World War II and went to Chicago, and he spent 10 years in Chicago, and then he went back to Sanko. Uh, and I think they had moved to San Angelo by that, and he forgot a few things in Chicago when he went back to Texas, namely my father.
Oh wow.
So in fact, I never even met the man. He died really young. He lived a stupid life after the war. It was really sad because he was a war hero. He had five different. He was in the Navy during World War II, and he had five ships sunk out from underneath him. And
Wow.
and one of the times he spent a couple of days in the water. Uh, uh, but when he got back, he was just wrecked. He was destroyed, and he drank himself to death when he was very young. I don't even. He wasn't very old at all. Uh, so I never met him. My dad barely knew him. I don't think my dad ever met him after he was 3 or 4 when the guy left. Uh, so
My dad died when he was 53 or 54. He was he was a young man, and he did his entire career was in North Africa.
oh wow.
The ambulance driver. He got shot twice. Got Purple Heart for one of them because apparently the big plus sign on the side of those trucks is a target,
Oh yeah.
and he would not own anything German made. He wouldn't park his Chevrolet next to anything German made. Um, he, the way mom told it, he woke up in cold sweats and had horrible dreams because every time he made a run in his ambulance, there was at least one indigenous child in the back of his ambulance
Mm,
bleeding out because the Germans don't care who the hell they blow up.
yeah.
Uh, if they saw one American going through a village or whatever, they'd bomb the whole damn village.
Yeah.
So the anyway, he so yeah, World War II was rough on a lot of people, and when they started sending guys over to Vietnam.
Hey, Sharon's here. Hey, Miss Sharon, how you doing, man?
He had two sons that were going to be draft age in just a couple of years, and he worried himself sick and sat down on the back porch and died of a heart attack.
Hmm.
So that's the way Mom told it anyway.
I have a boy in boot camp right now, uh, and I've got another boy who just signed up. He's going to MEPS on Monday. He's going down. I mean, he just took his ASVAB Friday, and he's going to MEPS on Monday.
Yeah, well, it's funny because all of his kids tried to join the military. Two of them successfully. One of them, they turned him down because he blew his knee out playing football, and the other one because he was stupid when he was a young man.
Oh, that is kind of endemic to being a young man.
Yeah. The Marines would have taken me if I'd have gone to them first, but I tried to go Navy first. And they saw me coming out of the recruiter and they said, no, thank you. I was like, what?
It's pretty funny. My second son joined the Corps, and his older brother decided to go join the Air Force. And so he went down to the Air Force recruiter, couldn't get anyone on the phone. So he just went down to the Air Force recruiter, knocked on the door because the recruiter's door was locked for some reason. The recruiter pokes his head out, says, "Hey, I'm with the guy, but you hang out for about 30 minutes and I'll talk to you." About 3 hours later, the guy never showed back up. And the Marine recruiter was coming and going, and he saw my son out there waiting. And finally he stopped and said, "Hey, man, why don't you just come talk to me? Because this guy clearly doesn't care about you." So the boy went in, and I shouldn't say boy. He's a grown ass man. He's 26, but uh, he went in and talked to the Marine recruiter. I got a phone call. He said, "Well, Dad, you're going to be pretty happy." I went, "Yeah." So I'll have two sons in the Marines, and it looks like the one boy just left for boot camp back in early December, and this boy, this the older son, I shouldn't call him boy. They're not boys, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it drives me. I'm 50, and my dad still calls me boy, and it drives me nuts. So I shouldn't be calling my sons boys, but it's just habit. But
Yeah.
so I'll have both sons at Paris Island at the same time. It's going to be pretty cool. I'll
Cool.
go to the one son's graduation, and the other son will be there on the island somewhere training.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud. It's pretty hard to walk through doors right now.
Yeah. And that's, I don't know how we got off of that, but your people came from here and my people came from there. If you go to the eastern part of your state,
Mm-hmm.
northeastern part of the state, you will see my last name plastered all over everything, all the way, all the way into Birmingham, Alabama. Uh, you know what Sand Mountain is over there?
Mm-hmm. That's on the northwestern side of the state.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
I live in the northeastern side, but yeah.
yeah, northwest western side. That's right. Uh, anyway, that's where my people came from. Both
That's a
sides.
nice area over there, especially up around Blairsville and Rome. And you start getting up near the Tennessee border, and that point right there where it intersects with Tennessee and Alabama. That's a nice part of the state,
Yeah, and we
especially if you come back just a little bit east from there and get around Blue Ridge and all that, and Canton. Uh, except it's just growing so much right
there.
now.
We about 3 days on the mount up on Sand Mountain, just cruising around. Went and visited all my dead relatives. Um, it was cool.
Sharon just said, "Give us some good places to live in Georgia." And here's the thing about Georgia. Almost everywhere in Georgia is good to live as long as you stay north of Macon. The problem is we don't know what's happening with Atlanta. And if Atlanta keeps growing the way it's growing, it could drag the whole state down to hell with it the same way Chicago has dragged Illinois down to hell with it.
That's
So
what I'm having with Austin right now.
yeah. So if anyone's wanting to move to this region, I am really big on Western South Carolina. Uh, if you look on the map, you'll see where I-85 cuts through South Carolina. If you go west of I-85 in South Carolina, you start getting a little bit of elevation, and it's a great area to live. And then Tennessee, you can't go wrong with Tennessee right now. And West Virginia, I'm really big on West Virginia. I don't know Kentucky that well, but I can't imagine there'd be anything wrong with Kentucky. I would just, I'm just worried about Georgia's future with the way Atlanta is growing, uh, and and maybe some of that has been checked now. I don't know. With we've got a really big Hispanic population in Georgia, maybe not compared to Texas, but uh, and the way that the Hispanics have actually started to vote the right way now, maybe that indicates that we're going to be secure for a few generations. Uh, so I might be being uh, a little too cautious because Georgia's a great state to live, especially North Georgia. If you get north of, say, Athens and Gainesville and Canton, it's a wonderful place to live. Uh, the northwestern corner of the state elected Marjorie Taylor Greene to Congress, and then my corner right next to that elected the AR-15 to Congress, and I'm not even kidding. We literally elected the AR-15 to Congress. Uh, Andrew Clyde is our congressman, and he owns a gun store down in Athens, and for a while he manufactured his own AR-15s, and his campaign signs when he was running for Congress, or when he runs for Congress, is just a giant AR-15 on the campaign sign. You don't even see his name on the campaign sign until you pass it. The very first thing you see is this big giant AR-15, and so we elected the AR-15 to Congress. This corner of the state is a wonderful place to live, as long as Atlanta doesn't drag us all to blue hell. But we've got mountains, we've got lakes, we've got waterfalls and canyons, and it's just gorgeous. Uh,
Yeah.
we have a little too much national forest, which you would think would be a good thing, but we have so much national forest that it kind of forces everyone into to a little bit higher population density communities than I would prefer. But there's still land available. It ain't cheap. Nothing here is cheap anymore. But it's a wonderful place to live. Wonderful people. You're rural. You still have good access to hospitals, and God forbid you want to go to the city. We're not far from the city. We're about 2 hours from everything. Uh, which for Texas is basically just a drive to the mailbox.
And it's
But
funny saying you're about 2 hours from something over there. The distance you drive for that 2 hours, we can make in an hour.
that's true. That's true.
Because over here, you get on the road and you just put a rubber band on your steering wheel and hit the, because it's a straight freaking line.
Yeah.
You might have to go around the town every once in a while, so you do have to stay away. But
Yeah, there is no straight roads in this part of the country, sir.
so, I
We
know
are.
you driveway super easy.
What's that?
I know you can miss your driveway super easy.
Oh yeah, and that's actually gotten worse since you were here.
Really?
Yeah, the driveway has gotten bad, which I love it because it keeps people from coming down here. But it's getting a little rough on the cars. I'm probably going to have to do something about it.
The missus is talking about relocating to east, but
Yeah.
staying in the state.
Oh, going over towards Nacogdoches or something.
Uh, she's been looking the Mount Pleasant ish area. That's like halfway between Dallas and Texarkana.
Mm.
I don't think she's gonna like it over there. It's too daggone cold in the wintertime.
I tell you, if I had to move right now, I'm going to Arkansas, southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, southern Missouri. I know everyone says it's freaking frigid in the winter, but I went out there 2 summers ago and saw the Ozarks, and I just fell in love. That that was
Oh,
gorgeous.
we looked all over the place for a place in the Ozarks, man. We thought we had one. We found it was 38, but we couldn't come up with enough money to close the deal.
Mm,
Really sucks. When we were on the Oklahoma side, we were still in the Ozarks.
yeah,
In Oklahoma, the property taxes are nothing, dude.
yeah.
Like literally, like $60 a year for 100 acres or something like that.
Wow.
Uh,
I just got to have mountains. I can't be in the flat. Um,
the we were on from one side of the 30 acres to the other side of the 30 acres. There was probably 40, 50 foot drop in elevation, man.
yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a couple of places we could build a house, and there was a place for maybe like an acre and a half, 2 acre garden. And then we could have done some spot gardens here and there. It was pretty rough, but it was down a dirt road, down another dirt road, and no neighbors. We liked it. There was electricity there, and we would have had to drill a well though. So
Mm.
we'd had to drill a well, but I think the water was like 30 foot down or something like that.
Oh wow, that's not bad.
Um,
I was digging here with a post hole digger one time. Now this was a real wet period. It was pretty wet period, but it was right here on the property where you've been. Uh, and I was digging with the post hole, and I probably got 2 foot down, and I heard the gush when I broke through the water table. Like it sounded like a balloon popping, and my post hole. I watched my post hole fill with water while I was digging. I thought I'd hit a water line, except there's just nothing up there. Uh, our water table is just right there. I bet even in the dry spell, I wouldn't have to dig 10 feet
yeah, there's
to
a
get.
town north of us, and they keep trying to build stuff that goes up in the air, and so they got to dig these great big deep foundations, and they're like, but they keep filling up with water. Uh, you're trying to build in the creek bed. You're in the water table.
Yeah, you're. Someone was just talking about California. Uh, which city in Georgia is it recommended to bear arms? So that was a city down close to Atlanta. I want to say that was Conyers or Covington. They had a law that this was back in the 80s and into the 90s, where every able-bodied man was required by law to own a firearm and carry it. But that place has really changed over the years. It's not this. I can't. Where was that? Maybe it was Alpharetta, but it was one of the. It's now a suburb of Atlanta. It used to be just way out in the sticks, and now it's basically been subsumed. Kennesaw, thank you, Buddy Bear, still in the chat. That it was Kennesaw, which is just north of Atlanta, kind of to the west. Uh, and you know what? Kennesaw is still pretty sane, actually. Kennesaw is a place I would think about moving, except it has grown a lot. There's a university there. It's turned into a college town. Uh,
Well, that'll run in place.
yeah, but it's right there on the border of sanity versus insanity. Uh,
Sounds like Abilene.
yeah,
Uh, San Angelo. San Angelo's still pretty solid, man.
really.
Honestly, uh, got to be careful who you do business with down there when you get south of San Angelo, though. I'm just gonna say that, and I'm gonna quit because I am not suicidal. Uh, I lost a friend to that shit down there.
Mm.
And it's not. It's people that's been down there for a really, really long time, got all kinds of money. But
Yeah, I could never move back that way. We had some family come visit us one time from out there, uh, and they were just so freaked out by the mountains. And we took them up on one. I think it's a mountain we took you up on too, actually, but I don't remember. Maybe not. Uh, and it just blew their minds. And I asked them if they didn't have any mountains in their area, and they said, "Yeah, yeah, we do." And they showed me a picture of the mountain. And in the picture, it was my uncle standing in front of this mountain, and it looked like it was just way way off in the distance. And I was like, "Wow, how far away is that from you?" And he said, "Oh, no, no, I'm right there at it." It was a pile of rocks that was barely taller than he was. Uh, yeah, I mean, it was maybe 20 foot at the most. Uh, and I,
down,
I just couldn't live in a place like that. I
you're gonna
start feeling
elevation from
exposed.
maybe 100 foot from one side of the uh, little rolling hilly thing, pile of rock to the bottom of it.
Mm.
It's you can see the Davies Mountains from Pecos, and you are still an hour and a half drive from the Davies Mountains.
Wow.
And because it you could lay a chalk line out there, it's so flat.
I
But
remember
in the
when I
Davies Mountains, you're talking, you go from 4,000 feet to damn near 7,000 feet in quarter mile.
mm,
There's no roads up to the top of these things.
mm,
Well, there's little 4x4 trails and stuff that scare
right.
the out of me.
Hmm.
Um, we do have mountains in Texas, just not like everybody thinks.
Yeah. So
Now,
I rode across Texas on 10, I-10 when I was a kid. I was 17. I was on a motorcycle, and I actually left here and rode all the way to El Paso.
I have to go get a phone charger, or I'm going to have to leave.
Okay. And I was just absolutely blown away by West Texas for all sorts of reasons. And one of the things that really blew my mind, and this was not far outside of El Paso, but I looked off to the left. I was on I-10, and I could see a thunderstorm off in the distance, but I could see the entire thunderstorm from start to finish. Like it just looking, it was so far away and it was so flat that I could see the beginning and the end of the thunderstorm at the same time and see all the different lightning flashes hitting. And you'd see 3 or 4 different lightning flashes at the same time. It was one of the most spectacular things I'd ever seen in my life. Even now, it's probably in the top 10 coolest things I've ever seen. But it just blew my mind how flat and how far you could see. Uh, and I don't know that I could live like that. I mean, you can't hide. There's nowhere to hide. Up here and I don't live way up in the mountains, but I do live in the Appalachians, right? Kind of on the uphill slope, uh, on the southeastern edge. I'm about as far south as you can be and still be in the Appalachians. Uh, and we just got you hear about the balds and the hollers and the valleys and and I live up in all those. I live at the top of a valley, but at the bottom of a hill. Uh, and you just couldn't pick a better spot. We're protected from all the bad weather, but we don't ever have to worry about flooding or anything because there's so much drop. The valley drops so far, even though uh, we're at the bottom of the hill. It's just perfect. Uh,
Are you helping?
Yeah, Buddy Bear. Now, Buddy Bear actually, uh, Les and Sharon, if you can get Buddy Bear to talk to you a little bit, Buddy Bear lives in a great area. Now, the only problem with Buddy Bear's area is that it's so good that it's growing like crazy. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country. I think he's up over he's somewhere near 3,000 foot, I think, or it might be between 2 and 3,000 foot. But he's at a great elevation, in a just a gorgeous uh, spot. All the land is usable, but it's still up in the mountains. It's pretty good dirt. You know, one of the problems in Georgia is we don't have great soil, especially in North Georgia. But that area's got pretty good soil. Uh,
It's gonna be tricky.
but yeah, there's some gorgeous places in North Georgia. All of it's gorgeous. Look, I live within 45 minutes of a 1,500-foot deep gorge that runs for miles. It's spectacular. It's breathtaking. I mean, I think you have to go to the Grand Canyon to see one that's much better. Uh, they don't call it a canyon; they call it a gorge. It's called Tallulah Gorge. It's about 45 minutes from here. Did you get to go up there and see that when you were here, Wes?
Uh, is that the one where it's a big waterfall or whatever?
There is a big waterfall there. Yeah, it's not one of the primary features, but there is a decent sized waterfall there. Uh,
Uh,
oh no, the big waterfall. No, there's the really big waterfall that you can just walk up to the base of the waterfall. No, that's different.
yeah,
Is actually
that's good.
taller than Niagara Falls. Of course, it's got nowhere near the amount of water coming over it, of course, but it's actually higher than Niagara waterfalls.
Wow. You have to bear with me. I'm trying to get my phone to where I can stay in here. I'm gonna sit you on my coffee cup. Hope for the best.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sharon and Les, if you're really looking to come back east, as much as I love Georgia, I wouldn't choose Georgia right now. I would choose Western South Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, and barring any of that, I would go to West Virginia. Uh, and don't you know what? Don't sleep on Northern Alabama, like Wes was just talking about. Northern Alabama is, I mean, look, Alabama. We give Alabama a lot of shit because it's Alabama, and that's just what you do. But Alabama
Yeah.
is actually a really nice state. Good people will be one of the last places in this nation to turn. Yeah, when Alabama turns, it's over. It's time to buy a sailboat and start seasteading. Uh, so I wouldn't sleep on Alabama. Louisiana is just a pit. I'm sorry. There's good people in Louisiana, but God, man, it's a terrible place to live. It's just hot. It's flat. It's wet everywhere. Uh,
Even northern Alabama or Louisiana, dude, they've got beautiful roads just like we do. They're 4 lanes. You can see from one end to the other. The speed limit's 55.
hmm,
It takes you forever to get from one end of that state to the next one.
yeah, I've
Uh,
actually never been to northern Louisiana. I've only been through southern Louisiana.
well, don't hold it against me. I was born in Lake Charles. I love southern Louisiana,
Mm,
but uh, you
mm,
have to you you can't see the swamp for the trees. You can't see the trees for the swamp where I'm
yeah,
from.
yeah. Yeah. Nothing personal, but I just couldn't. I couldn't live in Louisiana, or I
You
guess I should say I wouldn't live in Louisiana.
oh, the
Uh,
sun is miserable, dude.
yeah. Same
There's
thing with
no
Mississippi. Just couldn't do Mississippi.
there's no breeze. It's like 80-90% humidity. It's 90 degrees out there. Yeah, it's a cooker, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. But West Virginia, love it. Like I said, Eastern Tennessee. There is a problem with Eastern Tennessee right now, which is it is getting popular, but it's not getting so popular that it's going to go leftist on us. It's getting popular with people looking to get away from the blue areas.
Yeah.
And the only reason that's a problem is just because land's getting expensive up there. You used to be able to get some really, really, really good. The Sasquatch. We've both been up to his place up there.
Yeah.
And just breathtaking. He just has one of the most beautiful pieces of property you'll ever see, and got a real good deal on it. And those deals are drying up because so many people are moving to the area.
I
I don't.
would
I
have
don't.
killed property. I would have found a way to move if I
Yeah.
had a way to buy his property.
Yeah.
Because
It was
it's got all the things.
everything. It was in a valley between two ridge lines. So there were two ridge lines on either side, run parallel down the property line. He's in this shallow valley in the middle, has a really nice stream running through it. Has good wood lots, got good flat usable, well, not flat, but good usable, gentle pasture land.
Yeah.
He's got good wood lot. It's 40 acres. He wouldn't mind me saying that much. Uh, so it's everything you would want in uh, a piece of property. Has a good well. That was a nice piece of dirt. He is moving. He's actually selling that. Uh,
Yeah.
but the price has gone up so much since he bought it that
It's gonna make a penny or two.
yeah, he'll do all right on it.
Well, that's if we do move, we're gonna make out all right here too. So,
Really, that's good.
the market's going, and if we decide to do it before everything falls apart, uh, we could sell right now easy and more than double what we paid for it, and we won't
Wow,
here.
that's cool.
So, um,
Hey, Patrick, if you're still in the chat, I finally got the fire going. So Eric Shun here in the chat, Eric Shun /C8X, loves him some San Francisco. And I was going to say this earlier because we were talking, Les and Sharon were talking. Northern California is one of my favorite places I have ever been. Now, I don't remember where San Francisco is. I don't think it's Northern California.
it's
I think
central.
Central. But
It's its own little island, dude. It doesn't. None of the people around there even want you to talk about it. I honestly don't.
but Northern California, that was breathtaking, heart-stoppingly beautiful. Loved everything about. Now I was at a military base, and we were doing our mountain warfare training at a spot up there called Bridgeport. But it was spectacular. And if it was anywhere other than California, I I would I would be looking to move there already. Yeah, I would just. It was that gorgeous. Uh, but I'm just not going to willingly live anywhere where I can't own an AR-15 without risking jail time.
Yeah. We went through Arizona, Nevada, and then went up somewhere around the little 45 angle Chingoderi there. Went into California and rode all the way through Northern California in the wintertime. It was awesome.
But I bet I was there in August, and there were snow flurries.
Yeah, there was snow all over the place, but we expected it to be nothing but snow, but it wasn't. There was snow, but there was a lot of green still too. And then a couple places there was like a lot, but we got caught in a blizzard in just outside of Las Vegas that shut us down. I mean, it in an hour it dumped almost 2 foot of snow, man.
Wow.
Freaking desert.
Sharon is telling us that San Francisco is Northern California, which just doesn't fit with the the concept I have in my mind of the Northern California I experienced. Now that was
San
northeastern
Francisco,
California.
Western California. It's like not.
Well,
It's
eastern.
over.
So western would be the coast, and
And
eastern
it's pretty
California.
over there, but it's not.
So like the area I'm talking about wasn't far from Reno, and Lake Tahoe and all that.
Yeah, it's the actually. If you stay in the Sierra, is it the Sierra Nevadas?
Those are the Sierra Madres, I think.
Whatever those.
Yeah.
Country.
Yeah.
I think I like it better than I do Colorado. Honestly.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive. So I also did my desert warfare training down in just north of Joshua Tree National Forest in Southern California, way out in the desert. And I actually didn't hate that. Uh, that was kind of a cool area too. Now I don't know how it would be if you weren't in the military, because we were way out in the middle of nowhere, playing with all the big guns and everything, and blasting through the desert in Humvees and all that. Uh, it might be a different experience when you're living there 24/7. But I was there at the height of summer. I was there through July and August, and I still really kind of like that area. Les, I was stationed permanently for 4 years on Camp Lejeune, and then I spent a year at Quantico, which was one of the worst years of my life. And then, but we would do different types of training at different bases. So we would do like training missions, not missions, but we would go on training deployments out to California for desert warfare training and our mountain warfare training. So that's why I got to spend some time in California. I spent about 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, two different times in Southern California, and I spent 6 weeks in Northern California once. Uh, Something's in Victorville. I don't know where Victorville is. That might be where Bridgeport's at. Uh, that was what we called the base, Bridgeport. I don't know. And like I said, we could get to Reno within like an hour from there because we flew into Reno. That's how we got there.
Yeah, it's pretty too. Up there in Portland, around Portland or whatever. But
Oh, you know
yeah,
what we've gotten out here now since you've been here? They reintroduced the elk, so we have elk in the area again. Uh, they haven't gotten quite this far south because they reestablished them around Cherokee first, Cherokee, North Carolina, which isn't that far north of me. Probably maybe an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, but an hour and a half through the mountains. So in a straight line, it's not that far. Uh, and so the elk are starting to migrate back down this way, and they've seen a couple of them just north of here, maybe 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes north. So we're gonna get elk again here pretty soon. They've got a big herd up in Cherokee and into Tennessee, around Gatlinburg and all that. Because Gatlinburg and Cherokee, North Carolina, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and Cherokee, North Carolina, are kind of close to each other geographically. And there's a nice big elk herd established up there, and it's starting to fan out through the whole range. Uh,
the
and
problem starting to come back in around here.
yeah, one of the cool things about this area is that you can literally walk into the forest in my backyard, and I could walk out of the forest in Maine if I wanted to. I really wouldn't have to cross any. I'd have to zigzag a little bit at first, but once I zigzagged for about 20 miles, I would be in basically the Appalachian Trail. The Appalachian Trail runs not far from here, and I can literally go from my house to Maine and basically not get out of the woods. Uh, so when there's elk, and the reason I bring that up is because when there's elk in Tennessee, there's nothing in between me and the elk but trees.
There you go. We've actually got people have started bringing some private buffalo herds in and stuff, but they're all everything's fenced in. There's
Oh, really?
elk 9 miles from my house,
Really?
but behind a fence. All of them. The ones over there and over there. All the elk I know of are behind the fence. There's also freaking water buffalo behind the fence over there.
Really?
Do not want those out here.
No, that's got to be a pretty big fence.
We have let's see, what within 30 minutes of my house we have uh, red deer, fallow deer, the little Japanese guys, the spotted ones, whatever they're called. We have elk, uh, aoudad, I don't know the names of all the different African pointy-headed things they got out there.
Hmm.
We got some zebras.
Really?
We had ostriches and emus all over the place, but everybody finally shot all those. When the market, everybody thought they were going to get rich off of them, and then when they were just feeding them for nothing, everybody pretty much just, oh, somebody must have left the gate open, so people were blasting emus like it was going out of style, dude.
That's funny.
That's
funny. So tell me something, Wes. Are you still a prepper?
No, I gave that up.
I think I did too.
I sold all my stuff in a garage sale, and I just hadn't gone.
I see. You had a boating accident. I'm serious. I have quit prepping.
Really?
Now, part of that is because I kind of achieved prepped. It's possible that I'm not a prepper because I'm prepped. But it is not a big part of my identity anymore that I'm prepping for the apocalypse. Partly because I think
I don't know if you can see that, but I'm sitting in a 16 by 10 pantry, dude. That's we're where we wanted to be. We're fixing to actually kick it back up a notch now.
Really?
Somebody had another grandbaby.
Not you. You're too young to have grandchildren.
Yeah, grandchildren.
Yeah, it's hard to have grandchildren in your 20s, right?
Yeah. Can't see it in this light, but apparently my wife and them are fond of pointing out the fact that I am going gray now. So,
they're lying. Don't believe them. You're just a light blonde.
Just going lighter blonde. Yeah, that's one I like.
Yeah.
If I can pull the freaking cord out of here.
You've just been in the sun too much. You've just gotten a little washed out. You have frosted tips like a surfer.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yep. Just don't let me catch you with no hempette necklace, or you're going to go to San Francisco with what's his face?
I haven't worn a gold chain for since I was in my 20s.
Yeah, I have never worn jewelry. There was like a 1 week when I was in high school where my grandmother had bought me a kind of a cool silver ring, and I wore that silver ring for about a week. I don't know what happened to I wish I still had that silver ring. It was actually a big chunk of silver. And then I wore a wedding band for most of my first marriage. And then I had a wedding ring for maybe 6 months into my current, my real marriage, my current marriage. And then I took it off, and no, I lost it. I was in it was pretty funny. I was tubing down a river with the kids, and one of the girls, I mean, she wasn't in any kind of like danger, but she got kind of like stuck on a sandbar, and she was young. And so I was trying to claw my way up to where she was so I could help her get unstuck. And my ring got caught in the like the dirt and the rocks and everything, and just slipped right off my finger. And I was so relieved because I hated wearing the damn thing. And I never got another one. And that's the last piece of jewelry I'll probably ever wear in my life.
I've worn a wedding ring ever since I've been married. I won't go without it. Now I did wear a leather shoelace around my neck because if I was doing something where I was going to lose a finger, I'd slip it off. I'd put it on the deal, but I'd zip it up to where if I forgot to put it back on, it was right here, and anybody looking would know, oh, he's got a wedding ring. So uh, I didn't need no body walking up and asking me if I was happily married. I didn't wear one with my first marriage, and that's all I got was, "Are you happily married?" Yes, I'm happily married. Please go find you somebody else with work boots on.
You know, for it's really uncommon in the Torah community. Most Torah keeping men don't wear. I shouldn't say most. It is very common in the Torah keeping community for men to not wear rings, wedding rings, because there's such a the patriarchal bent, and we accept polygamy and all that, even when if we don't, most of us don't practice it, and so the thought is, the woman is bound to the husband is not necessarily bound to the woman, and so the ring is a signifier of the woman being bound to her husband, uh, and so a lot of Torah men won't wear that ring for that reason, that they're not bound, the wife is bound, which drives the ladies crazy sometimes, but uh, Les sold his size 13 gold ring to pay the propane bill. That's a lot of propane.
A lot
Uh,
of pro.
but that's not why I quit wearing a ring. I quit wearing a ring because I've got a bad knuckle that I broke that finger, and it had to have steel pins put in it, and it caused that knuckle to be all swelled up. So to have a ring I could actually get over my knuckle, it had to be this huge ring that was just really uncomfortable. Uh,
Loose on my finger, but it's tight on my nose.
yeah, that's how mine was, and it was so bad that a vulgar display of truth says that we're probably the last generation to take marriage seriously.
Probably.
Uh, I can't help but think I'm really optimistic right now, and I do think there's a generation coming up that is going to be different, that they're going to swing back the other way. Now, what they're not going to take seriously. So so my thought on that is yes and no. If you go with a strictly biblical definition of marriage, no, they're not going to take that seriously. But if you go with just sort of a modern concept of marriage, they will take that seriously. The problem is that's a broken man-made system that's not going to work.
That's not good. Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
so I mean, yeah, I agree with you, Vulgar, that on the real level, you're right. They're not going to take it seriously because what they're not going to what no one will tell them anymore, because even in my generation they wouldn't tell us this. I grew up in the buckle of the Bible Belt, and if if two people started having premarital relations, if they were fornicating, what would the church say? Well, you better stop that, you better separate, you got to stop that sin. And the right thing to say from a biblical standpoint was, no, you are now married. When you broke it, you bought it. The sin is in how you break the one flesh union, not when you form the one flesh, unless it's an adulterous relationship. But and obviously, and we won't teach that. And that's the true marriage. Then there's you read that book from cover to cover, and it won't tell you nothing about no marriage in front of no preacher or with no government license. It's you make a covenant with a woman with your body, and when you form that covenant with your body, my mom gets mad at me when we talk about this, because so you don't think sex means nothing, and I'm like, no, sex means everything, you know because she's real traditional, and she she has that view where if you have sex before marriage, you're sinning and you got to stop. My dad's a preacher, and people have asked him to marry them before, and he knew that they were cohabitating, and he's like, yeah, no, I won't marry you. You're in sin, and the only way I'll marry you is if you separate for 6 months, live separately, and don't have any sexual relations. And I'm like, Dad, if you honestly think that they're living in sin and they've come to you and asked you to help them stop living in sin, why the hell would you not help them do that?
Either not, man.
Yeah,
It's
it's a really confused idea, because you look at what Scripture says, and there's no way around the fact that you formed a one flesh union when you sleep with a woman, and that's marriage. The one flesh union is marriage. Uh, if you look at what Christ teaches about divorce, he tells you straight up that the divorce is the undoing of a one flesh union. That whatever marriage is, it's the one flesh union. What it freaks people out when you tell them this, but there's actually no word in Greek or Hebrew, the languages that the Bible was. That's what God uses in Genesis when he talks about Adam and Eve. The two shall be one flesh. That's what Christ says when he talks about divorce. Divorce is the uh, is the opposite of one flesh, or yeah, it is the antithesis of one flesh. Divorce
now
and one flesh are their polar opposite states of being. And one flesh is formed by sex, because that's what Paul tells us. If you lie with a harlot, you formed a one flesh union with that harlot. You have become married to her. And so vulgar display of truth is right insofar as that no one's going to accept that teaching anymore. That teaching is, it's going to take a major revival, a third great awakening before that comes back into to vogue. Apparently, I froze up for that little sermonette I just gave.
what's up,
Uh,
Joe?
but
Come
damn
on.
it, I do this every time. I start talking and I won't smoke my cigar, and so it keeps going out. And then I have to keep relighting my cigar. I go through a pack of matches a live stream. One cigar, pack of matches. Ugh, drive myself crazy. Have you seen truck prices lately? Have you
I
tried to price a truck recently?
not within the last couple of months, no.
Holy hell. I'm looking at trucks with 300,000 miles on them that are 30 and 40 years old, and people are wanting $5,000 and $6,000 for these trucks.
Oh yeah. Uh, I was looking at a Suburban the other day. And, hey, that's a nice looking Suburban. They only want $3,000 for it. Yeah, I click on it. It's just a roller, man. No drivetrain. What? I mean, I want me another square body Suburban.
Oh
I
yeah,
hate.
those are pretty trucks.
Yeah. I had one, and my nephew was in a bind, so I loaned it to him, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that's how it goes with nephews. Ask my uncle.
And he got scammed out of that truck. When he told me that they were going to trade it for, I know, man, that needs to be straight across the board. You give them the Suburban, you get the car.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, you're just going to give us for payment. Dude, you're trading him a $6,000 truck for $1,500.
Mm.
But anyway, because this Suburban, get me a miles it had on it.
How many?
It was a 87 Suburban with 68,000 original miles.
Wow.
It was the extra car. It's set in the carport for forever.
Mm-hmm.
The upholstery was perfect until he bought it and let his dogs live in the truck.
Mm.
Anyway, I traded him for a Ruger 270. He gave me the rifle. I let him have the truck back.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah, I'm a Ford man through and through. But even I have to admit that 350 Chevy engine is one of the, if not the best all around engine ever built. One of them. Maybe that Dodge 318 is a better all around engine than that 350, but it would be difficult.
what kind of truck are you looking for?
I'm not sure. I had a work truck at my last job, and when they just ran out of work, and they essentially shut. Hey, Rob's here.
Oh,
They essentially shut down. Not really. They've still got one guy working, but there were four of us, and they're down to one guy, and so I had to give up my work truck. Uh, and I just need I need a pickup truck. I heat with firewood, so I just have to have a truck, right? I mean, but the problem is I've got all these kids, and so I need to be able to drag some kids around with me. So it would be nice if we had something small and mildly efficient, just to supplement that giant ass van. Yeah.
well, you killed it with kids, but I found me a truck the other day, but my wife shot me down on it. It's actually a pretty low mileage. It's a 80 model Ford
Mm-hmm.
F50, the custom deluxe thing or whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
got the 4-speed manual transmission, 300 inline six.
I love that engine. I
It's
love
got
that
the
engine.
it's got the two little sissy seats in the back and then the
Mm-hmm.
vents in the front. What's it, a 60-40 split in the front,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was a short wheelbase though.
Mm. I prefer the long wheelbase as I've gotten older.
I've always and the short wheelbases are prettier.
They're much prettier.
You
Yes.
can't stick an 8-foot piece of sheetrock in a 6-foot bed.
Nope. Nope. Yeah, you got to have a bed where you could lay a 4x8 sheet flat in between the wheel wells. It's just necessary.
I mean, yeah, you can put the tailgate down, but then when you put the 1,000 pounds of sheetrock in there, it's not riding on the axle; it's riding behind the axle,
Yeah.
and down the road like Cholo. Oh, sorry about that. Somebody from Southern California. It's,
And it'll just slide out the back on you. You
yeah.
know, you can't do it.
You were supposed to show up with 58 sheets of plywood, and you show up with 48, and you can't explain it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that 300 inline six motor. It gets terrible mileage for the size it is, but man, they just run forever.
It's the same size as a 5.0. It's the same size as a 302, man. Well, it's a 4.9 to a 5.0.
Okay, yeah.
But
I'm thinking about the 306, which was a little older motor.
the 306 is the same size as the 302, but the 302 will not do what the 300 will.
Oh, I
The
see. So the
the other part,
4.9 is the same as the
the
300.
way to back off and let me have is a 1973 F700. It's got an inline six in it, a 4-speed manual transmission, and you can pull around 5 tons with that sucker.
Yeah.
And she said, no, I didn't have any use for that. I don't even know how you math that. I
The
could
math doesn't math.
run over with that son of a bitch.
Yeah, my ideal truck right now would be a probably an F250 with a extended cab and the long bed. just because you could put a lot of firewood in the back of a 3/4 ton pickup truck. But really, what I need is something like an F-150 with a back bench and that 4.9 or the small V8 or the big V6. That big V6 they made for a while was a decent motor.
Decent, but you got to be careful with it. The big V6 was okay. The small one was not. So I can't remember the displacement on them. Me and my son were talking about that. You need to be talking to Leland about this. Honestly,
Yeah.
he's the mechanic.
Well, I just can't bring myself to drop that kind of money on a truck with 250,000 miles on it. I'm just not there,
Yeah. You see,
So
truck. I mean, they're going. Well, gotta be careful what I say. You can find a good deal on a truck around here from a private party, but you got to be careful. I bought that F-250 and it's still sitting there. I can't even find anybody that'll work on that 6.0.
is it the diesel or
Yeah,
the Triton
diesel.
diesel? Yeah, there was something about some bolts in the back of that motor that was supposed to be a real big pain in the ass. I don't remember what it all was.
In the Chevrolet being a good motor, and I'm talking about the 302 Ford against the 300 Ford. So
I've had real good service out of those 5.8s. I guess those are the 351s. That's what I usually have in those big vans we have to drive.
351 is a good motor, but God, you talk about a drinker.
Yeah, I get 11 miles to the gallon out of
What?
the van we drive now.
And honestly, in a Chevy, I take a 305 over a 350 any day.
Really?
Yep, they're just as tough. Uh, Horsepower and torque, they're almost exactly the same. You just can't amp. You can't amp a 305 the same you can a 350. You
Yeah.
basically you can get a little bit extra out of them, but they're if you're just going to drive it and you're not going to act like a fool, I mean, you get 2 to 6 more miles to the gallon out of the 305.
Have you ever had any experience with that old Chrysler Slant 6 motor?
The undead motor.
The undead motor,
Yes,
the motor that cannot die.
you can shoot it, you can drown it, you can, but you cannot kill
You can replace the oil with sand and it will
it.
still run.
You can drive it off a cliff. And, well, that'll kill the car.
But the motor will still work.
The motor's fine.
Yeah, Volger has just pointed out the Toyota 22RE. That's another one. You can't kill that damn thing, but you cannot afford it. If you find an old Toyota with that 22R motor in it, they want $10,000 for the truck, and it'll be an early '90s truck with all the miles and everything, and they will get $10,000 for that truck because it will still run. That 22R is a pretty amazing.
I'm gonna go talk to my neighbor down here because he sold his place, and he's got I think it's like an 80 or somewhere between an 80 and an 82 Toyota 4-wheel drive sitting down there.
Hmm.
That's been rolled.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want the drivetrain, man.
Yeah.
It's got the R in it. The 22, it's got the 22R in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 4-wheel drive. And I have a 78 body that'll set right down on it.
That would be a fun truck.
Yeah.
But you know what? Part of that may be nostalgia on our part because we remember the first Back to the Future movie where Marty got that really hot
Oh,
little Toyota pickup truck at the end of the movie. and that was just the coolest thing in the whole. That was better than you'd rather have that pickup truck than the DeLorean.
Well, the 78 still has the original motor in it. It's got 470 something thousand miles on it, and it smokes a little. It needs to be rebuilt, but it is not dead.
Wow.
So
they're great little trucks.
They're tough as hell, man.
Yeah, they're great little trucks.
Datsun just wouldn't put a motor in their trucks.
Yeah.
You'd buy a Toyota and it'd have an 18 or a 22. Most of them were 20. You'd buy a Datsun and it'd have a 16 in it.
Yeah. My dad had a little old Datsun for a few years that we got really good service out of. It did pretty good for him, but like you said, it was gutless.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the other truck that would be hard to beat is if you could find one of the square nose Ford Rangers.
Yes. I love those.
With the V6 in.
Mm-hmm.
4-wheel drive. Geez, man, those things will go anywhere, dude.
Yeah. Get the 5-speed. My dad had a 4-speed. That's what I learned to drive in, actually, is he had an 84 Ford Ranger with a 4-speed. Had the exact same motor in it that was in the Pinto. We would go to the junkyard and get Pinto parts to put on that Ford Ranger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My favorite truck ever was a 78 Ford Courier with an 8-foot bed on it.
We had one of those too.
We had
a little Ford Courier. It was a great truck. Absolutely great. Back then, anymore you can't get away with kids riding in the bed of the truck anymore. I think it's actually illegal now in Georgia. But back then, you could ride in the back of the truck and no one cared. So he could put all the kids in the back of the truck, and him and mom would ride up front. And it did everything you needed a little truck to do back then. But you can't get away with it now.
Both my boys learned to drive in that Courier. It was what? How'd you just ask in? Does anybody want an old dog? I'll give him to you. I'll put him to you.
Yeah, if old dogs held their value the way old Toyotas did, we might all be rich.
What he wants me to do is he wants me to get up. I'm sitting in his bed, he thinks. Oh, you gotta go tinkle or something? If you try to get in that chair, I'm gonna smack you. I'm not going in the house yet. When it's cold, he sleeps in here. And when it's not cold, he sleeps in there. He's ready. He wants me to go to bed. He came in here just to tell me to go inside.
That big white dog we had when you were here?
Yeah.
He's gone.
Oh, what did he do?
He just got old and died. He was 10 or 11 years old, and he'd had a hard life. Dogs that size don't live that long anyway. And
you want to see my guard dog? My vicious attack animal, my livestock guardian dog? I got him right here. Come here, vicious guardian dog.
Oh, yeah, you're safe from everything. Nothing's going to hurt you.
Nothing's going to get me, is it?
I bet he runs off the coyotes and everything.
This thing ain't got no sense at all. She is just a mean little vicious hussy.
How old is she?
She is, how old are you? What? I'm supposed to know? 6 months? Oh, she's 6 months. 6 or 7.
Is that some kind of mastiff? What is that?
Dude, that is don't everybody laugh at one time. It is a pug on top of a black-nosed cur. I was expecting more dog. But that's it. That's all I get.
She's pretty good size for 6 months.
Yep. My daughter actually has a Pyrenees that other guardian dog. Anyway, the two big guardian dogs, they bred them together.
The Turkish one, the like an Ashkenazi or something, Ashkenaz or
something or other. I don't know. Anyway, she don't take nothing off of him. And they got into it pretty hard over that beef bone. Who got the bone?
She got the bone, huh?
Yeah. They I think she got the bone. Man, she smells just like that rotten thing. But
I just had to put down a cane corso for my daughter. Anatolian. Thank you, Rob. Rob got it.
Yeah, Rob, Anatolian Pyrenees. That's what he is.
Yeah.
His name's Mutt because he's a pain in the mutt.
My daughter had one of those cane corsos, and he was like 150 pounds. This is a big dog, and he was beautiful, just a gorgeous animal. But he lost it one day. She had an old pit bull, and she had that dog, and she always fed them separate because they were both food aggressive. And so she was letting the old pit bull in the house so she could feed the pit bull in the house, and she was going to feed the cane corso outside. And the cane corso just attacked that pit bull and killed it right there. And obviously you can't trust a dog like that. So I had to go put it down for her. But it broke my heart because he was just a gorgeous animal. He wasn't mean towards people, but yeah, you just can't have a dog like that around if he's going to flip out and start killing things. He had grown up with that old pit. He'd known that pit since he was a very young puppy.
Yeah, I got a sneaky feeling that Jelly Bean here is going to have to learn that when that 3-month-old dog out there gets to be 6 months, she's not going to be able to get away with what she gets away with now.
Oh yeah, that Pyrenees is still like a baby.
Baby, he weighs 46 pounds, man, and he's 3 months old.
Yeah. Once that dog gets a little bit bigger, he's going to assert himself. I loved my Pyrenees. I still have a female. She's more of a mix though. She's got some Labrador in her, a retriever, but they are food aggressive. They do not let other dogs eat their food.
Yeah. Well, I've spent in a lot of time with somebody else's dog, but I am teaching Callum that he is going to get fed. He does not have to fight for food. He does not have to defend his food. I will defend it for him.
Mm-hmm.
He gets all the sweet feed he wants. When I feed the cows their supplemental feed or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
he can just as much of that stuff as he wants to. Cows don't care. We don't care. He's not going to go hungry. And he sleeps with the cows wherever they bundle up out there in the pasture. He'll go out there and curl up next to one.
Yeah.
They don't care. We tried to let him sleep in the house a couple of times, but he'd rather be outside. So
you want to have some fun one day? Give the dog his food where the chickens can get at it. And watch that dog try to guard that food from them chickens, and he'll chase the chicken, swarm around him, and they'll be hitting the food again. He'll turn around and they'll 20 birds at that, and he'll come back running, chase those chickens off, turn around. They've just swarmed back around behind him, and they're eating this. It's hysterical. That poor dog will, and those chickens will get every bit of that food, and he won't get none of it.
Yeah, we got our chickens pinned up now, so we feed the dogs twice a day. Give them enough at night to where they're not uncomfortable and they can sleep if they want to, but then feed them in the morning so they'll just go out there and lay down. And then we'll let the chickens out, and then we put the chickens after the chickens go to bed. Then we feed the dogs because man, Sadie used to have to fight for her food, but she was good about it. she'd wait for the chicken to come up there and try to get a bite, and she'd just pick it up and throw it away.
Mm.
And she'd do it in a circle though, so her butt would take out the other chickens trying to come in from the side. She'd eat all her food. She didn't share with them chickens. But
my dog hasn't figured out how to keep them chickens off her food. They just overwhelm her.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
These guys can't do. They hadn't figured it out, and I wish I'd have figured out how to break dogs from killing chickens sooner. This one, she had a snacky, but then she wore a little special collar for a while, and every time she would walk by a chicken, I would hit the magic button, and it knocked the piss out of her.
That's one of those things I love about these Pyrenees, which that big male you met, his name was Sergeant. I can say I would never used to say his name on, but he's dead now, so it doesn't matter. You couldn't even get that stupid dog to eat raw meat. He would not eat raw meat, and you could not make him hurt a chicken. Like he just wouldn't do it. The only times they would go after the chickens is when the roosters were fighting. They'd go break up the cockfight, and that was it.
You see, that's the last one, which I don't even want to talk about it, man. It made me. It was. I didn't do anything about it until it was so far gone, because I just figured it was a one-time thing, another one-time thing, and then every rooster I had was gone. And I was like, what the hell? And then I seen her going, and I'm pretty sure that's what started, because I saw her. The rooster would try to top a hen, the hen would complain, and the dog would go over there and make it stop happening. But then I think it got to be too much fun, and I had to get a rooster. The guy shouldn't have to go get a rooster. So, and she wasn't killing them outright. She was just tearing them up real bad. She wasn't eating them.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing those Pyrenees do for me around here is they run the hawks off. They see the hawk.
These already doing really good about barking at the coyotes. He does not like the sound of coyote. He'll go off on it, and they've started doing the birth again. They're going around. Since he started barking at them, we haven't lost another chicken.
Yeah.
We're pretty regular. So
yeah, that's why we got that Pyrenees, is because we have coyotes in the area, and haven't seen a coyote since I got that first Pyrenees. He ran them all off. They haven't come back yet.
There's one coyote that hasn't come around my place, but I've seen him about 2 miles from here. I want that coyote, but I want it now in the wintertime, because I want the hide. It's a coy dog. Got the back is black, and then its legs are red. The underside of its face is red, and it's got a white splash all the way down its belly.
Oh wow!
It's beautiful, but it's a freaky coyote, man. It's exactly like a coyote. Acts exactly like a coyote. There's a lot of coy dogs around here, man. I don't know why. I've never seen this many coy dogs in my life.
That's a little scary. Hopefully they're all mules, that they can't reproduce. But
genetically, coyotes and chihuahuas are the same animal. They will, if the chihuahua breeds coyote, offspring from that coyote will breed.
See, I thought
back to a coyote, but it may have short hair and big fluffy ears.
Our coyotes are getting so damn big, you can't tell them apart from German Shepherds anymore.
I saw one the other day. That thing, It's cooled off, so it's got its fur on,
Mm-hmm.
but that thing was every bit the size of a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, another. I used to have coolest damn animal ever, but just your pet, not your friends couldn't come over and pet your dog or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. About a year ago, I was driving through a neighborhood south of Atlanta because I traveled for work all around the city, and I was sitting on the side of the road doing some paperwork for a job I just finished, and these two ladies walked past me, doing their power walk, in their Lululemons and everything. And right behind them, this was the middle of the morning. This was like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. I see this dog. And at first I thought the dog was with them. That's how close it was. And it started getting closer and closer. And I went, oh my God. It was a pristine white coyote. I mean, it looked like a spirit coyote or something. It almost looked like a wolf.
Wow.
Uh, it was so big. And I called those ladies over. I said, hey, you, you know that's a coyote, right? They're like, no, 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 that's just a neighborhood dog. And I said, whose dog? And they said, oh, we don't know. That it's just always out around here. We just see it. It's some neighborhood dog. I'm like, lady, that's one of the biggest coyotes I've ever seen in my life. And you know what? They're not a threat to me. But you little old girls running around in your Lululemons with your purse dogs, that thing is going to come after one of you girls
Yeah.
one day. And I could not convince them that it was a coyote. And I couldn't believe it was out in the middle of the day just acting like it owned the joint. It was just walking down the middle of the road. It wasn't rabid. I took a good look at it to make sure it wasn't rabid. Uh, but it just owned that joint. And it wasn't worried about a thing in the world.
The they got coyotes like that up there in Lubbock's. Not that. I mean, you'd think, but they don't mess with them. They come into town at night, do whatever they want to, go back out in the country.
This
Uh,
was broad daylight in
yeah, well,
the middle of a $1 million home subdivision.
that's crazy. Well, they don't have to worry about it. Ain't nobody going to shoot them out there.
Mm-mm.
They're not. Coyotes are smart. They know where they're going to get shot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Hey, did you see that video I did with that little 357 carbine?
I saw you holding a 357 carbine. Did I
Uh,
watch the? Probably.
set, yeah, that's all right. You'll hurt my feelings, but that's fine. I can deal with it. Sasquatch gave me he had bought it and just didn't have any use for it. He thought it was cool and he just let me have it. Just gave it to me just out of friendship. And I am in love with that little rifle. That is one of the best all around little rifles. It's just that little Rossi R92, they call it. Uh, it is the handiest, quickest little thing I've ever shot in my life.
Yeah.
Uh, and it will do everything around here you would need a rifle to do other than, defend your faith, family, freedoms. And nothing short of an AR-15 is any good for that anyway. Uh, but it'll take all our little deer around here. It'll go to any. I would have to go down to the railroad tracks to find a shot over 150 yards anyway. There's nowhere here where you can shoot that far. Uh, and I just love that little thing. You almost don't even need earplugs when you shoot it. It's got this 16-inch barrel, and if you've got just any kind of normal 357 load in it, it's not hearing safe. I don't want to say that, but you almost don't need earplugs with it. There's no such thing as recoil on it. Yeah, I don't know what kind of round you'd have to put in it to feel any felt recoil. Uh, and it's just a slick handling light. I just love it. It's a great little carbine.
Somebody did a video on that about hot loads for the 357 carbines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be careful. You got to be careful you don't overpressure that gun.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not. getting crazy on it. Right now, I'm shooting 158 grain buffalo bores out of it, but I'm not going to hand load anything hot.
But the only thing I ever thought about doing on the 357 was uh, taking the lead bullet and
mm,
putting a 1/8 inch drill bit into it, a quarter of an inch.
mm. Yeah, you're
Taking
making it a little hollow point.
or whatever. But man, my phone's gonna die.
Well, it's about it's 12:15 here, so I probably should wrap it up. Cigar's almost gone. Give me another. Let me finish this, and we'll call it quits. What do you think?
I'll stay until my battery quits me. How's that? I'm not gonna
Ah,
try to because it's too hard to stay in frame. The I got about 20% battery, so that gives me about 10, 15 minutes, I guess.
yeah, your battery will outlast this cigar. I don't have much left. So what should we wrap up with?
Um, who's next?
Who's next?
Trump ain't done.
Oh, who's next?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. My hope, and I think it's likely, that he has rattled everyone's cages so much with that Iranian bombing and now with this Venezuelan thing. I think everybody is probably on their best behavior for a while.
Uh, I think he's good.
Uh, did WesS freeze up or did I freeze up?
I may have phrased up. Did my
Oh,
battery
oh
quit?
no, you're back now.
Okay.
Okay, so the last thing I heard you said, you think he's gonna what?
I think he's going to hit the cartels next.
You think he's gonna do strikes in Mexico?
Well, I don't know about Mexico, but I think he's going to hit like the ones in Nicaragua and shit.
See, I think all those guys are tied to Venezuela so close that
Okay, think about it. He's got the guy from top puppet from Venezuela.
mm-hmm,
All the other guys are now scared. They're going to talk,
mm-hmm.
and then there's going to be little helicopter jaunts in. And I think that anybody that's got stock in the drug trade might want to unload it because I think it's fixing to get really hard to.
He's already locked the border down, and now he's blowing up the drug boats that are trying to go around the border. I think it does get really, really hard to make good, easy money running drugs anymore. Except that, so Sharon says he's going after Cuba next. I think the drug trade actually does shift to the northern border. I think they start coming into Canada now. They're going to
Yep,
have to go all the
they
way
still get
around.
the country, and that's the thing is if it can keep them from getting out of the country, that's one thing. But he's not getting all the boats. But if they get a chance, say they've got 6 or 8 of those boats lined up, loaded down, why not smoke them all right there in port?
Yeah, no, you're right. He's going to
Uh,
start hitting the port facilities. But
that's what I would do.
at some point, they're going to start having a hard time finding people willing to drive those boats. Because at some point, you don't have to get everyone. You just got to get enough of them that suddenly they can't find anyone to drive the damn things anymore.
Well, the downside there is this is the cartels and stuff, and they just find a guy who knows how to drive a boat, and they go get his wife and his 2 little girls, and
Yeah,
they say, drive the boat.
yeah,
And they're going to go die out in the ocean. And
yeah.
but I mean, that's the way these guys work. That's why I think the only way to fix it is literally to blow up their house with them in it. Don't bring them to court. Don't bring them to trial. Burn them to the ground. Make it
Yeah.
where it's not worth being in business anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's harsh and it's ugly and it's mean. It don't sound very Christian, but
I'm sorry, but we all have seen people the drug trade is murder. It might be slow murder, but it's murder. And we've all known people in our lives who were murdered by drug dealers in slow motion.
How many people's sons and daughters have slowly withered away to someone you can't recognize because of mind altering chemicals that aren't naturally grown? If you want to go pick some coca leaves and chew them like tobacco and cop a buzz, knock yourself out.
Yeah. I'm okay if you want to grow marijuana in your backyard. I'm
Yeah,
okay if you want to harvest black heroin in your backyard. As long as you're doing it to yourself and you're not, going on an industrial scale and corrupting entire communities, you're a grown ass man. I can't protect you from yourself. Go do it. But
yeah.
but we can't have thousands of pounds of powerful industrial drugs just flowing across the border in a nonstop stream. You just can't do that.
If you can't grow, if you can't build you a 10-12 greenhouse and grow enough ganja to keep yourself busy all year, you're doing something wrong anyway. You're smoking too damn much.
That's why I've decided that full legalization. I won't support any of these partial legalization schemes like we've done in Georgia. Where you get a uh, a prescription or something, because that's not solving the problem. You're still always going to have the illegal stuff. But I would absolutely support a scheme where, grow all the marijuana you want in your backyard. If you grow it and you're not selling it, then I don't care. Treat it like they've done with moonshine. That's how they did away with the moonshine.
Just
They
make
just
it
said,
full.
yeah, I think you can distill like 100 gallons a year or something for your own use. Uh, and there's no more moonshine, underground moonshine trade anymore,
Yeah,
because it's just not worth it.
it's there's no reason to grow 200 acres of marijuana when a guy only needs a little
Flower box.
flower box or whatever. It's
You could have five-gallon buckets and grow. I assume I've actually never smoked marijuana in my entire life. I've never been exposed to it. By the grace of God, through no the good graces of my own. Uh, but I think you can grow enough in your backyard that you would never have to buy the stuff. So I would actually vote for that. I would campaign for that. When I was in
that came
jail.
way after prohibition. Prohibition was the same kind of thinking or whatever. That was the prohibition was caused by a bunch of really powerful women with nothing better to do with their time than put pressure on their husbands.
A bunch of upper middle class white women who just wanted to stick it to their husbands. That was
That's,
prohibition.
that was it.
Uh, and you saw the result. It didn't work. It never works.
I
But
am
what we have now, even in places
opposed to
like California.
so I guess y'all can all hate me now, but if you're gonna drink, drink at home or call a taxi. There's no reason to drink and drive nowadays. What is it? Uber? You can get an Uber anywhere. Uh, Set your ass in the back of the car and go home. You're not gonna get arrested. You're not gonna lose your driver's license. It's like $15. I
Yeah.
mean, $15 is a whole lot cheaper than 1,500.
What pisses me off though? I've known guys who got DUIs for riding a bicycle drunk. And I knew one guy, this was happening in the Marine Corps. He got a DUI for walking drunk. And I'm like, are
Damn.
you nuts? What's a drunk guy gonna do to himself on a bicycle? He's not gonna hurt anybody but himself. Uh, you
Well, see,
know,
now you're seatbelt law thing, man.
yeah,
Me not
seatbelt, yeah.
because nobody else have a wreck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pull me over and write me a ticket for not using my signal. I got that coming. But you have no right to tell me to wear a helmet. Or now you can tell me all of my stuff on my car needs to work.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with making sure my lights work, my signal lights work, my brakes work, my muffler's okay, all that stuff.
Yeah.
If I want to plaster my gray matter all over the pavement, none of your business.
But now, and I agree with you, but we also have to be able to say then, but it's on you. You know,
It's on you. You cannot sue us for not making you put a helmet on.
and you can't
You
make
know,
us pay for it. You know,
you pay for it. You know, that's like in Canada. If you get hit in a car wreck and you break a leg, they pay for it. If you
yeah.
go snow skiing down a mountain and break your leg, that's on you.
Hmm.
That's what Wooded Beardsman said. Anyway, I'm not from Canada. I could be wrong. If you're out goofing off and on a jet ski and get hurt, that's on you.
It's got to be on you. It just has to be. And sure, don't wear your helmet if you don't want to wear a helmet. I used to ride motorcycles a lot when I was younger. I just can't afford to have one anymore. It shocked me one day when I woke up and realized I didn't have a motorcycle anymore. I didn't remember getting rid of one, but suddenly I just didn't have one anymore. But I would never not ride with oh, Rob's out. Rob's like, screw you guys.
Yeah.
He thinks we're a bunch of pot smoking hippies now.
Yeah.
Screw you, Rob. You puritanical killjoy.
Don't look in his garden.
Anywho, actually, I'm following him with. This thing's out. We've had a good run. We've gone 2.5 hours.
But
we were fairly entertaining this evening, Wes. This was a pretty good stream.
Mine was not going anywhere, man. Nobody was talking in the side chat. Everybody expected me to be funny and hilarious, all spontaneous like. And I mean, that's not the way it works.
No, you can't. It's hard to do for 3 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I owe you one. You saved my bacon tonight. So if you ever want me to come on your stream, I definitely would do it in a heartbeat.
All right, we'll have to figure out when you're not going live.
Well, yeah, we just need to.
And I was just joking about you going live on top of me. I waited, nobody went live, so I said, well, I'll just do it. I went live, and then I was live, and I wonder if somebody else is live while nobody's in here. And sure enough, there you are. I'm like, well, let's fix it.
Yeah, the problem is I only go live about once a month now. I don't do it that often anymore. Maybe twice a month.
I've shot like 6 videos for YouTube in the last 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
There's the sound's wrong. The lighting's off. I forgot to turn the camera on. I can't get anything right. I know it's about to piss me off.
Yeah.
The one I did was actually going to be a really pretty good video, and the camera had fallen out of focus. And instead of seeing what I was doing, you were looking at the bed of my truck.
That sucks.
So anyway, yeah, I would enjoy it. If you want to invite me back, go ahead.
Anytime.
You know what I made to do is see if I can get you and Rob on my channel, and now I'll just sit over there in the corner with my camera off and drink whiskey and watch you two go at each other.
All right, that sounds like a plan to me. We just got to get it set up.
Yep.
All righty, brother. Well, I appreciate you. It's good to talk to you again. It's been too long since we talked. We can't let that happen again.
Well, man, I completely lost your number when I got this phone, so I've got it back now.
Awesome.
So I will harass. All right.
All right, chat. We appreciate you. You guys were more interesting than we were as usual, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Hopefully on WesS's channel. And it sounds cliche to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. God bless the troops. And we're very grateful that no one got hurt in Venezuela last night. And hopefully this is another step on our way back from the abyss we were falling into. I am
Sorry to the
cautiously
air
optimistic.
guys. Got to put that chopper back together.
Yeah, they got to go repair that chopper. All right, brother. You have a good evening,
Right.
man. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Later.
Night.